I know. It's wild. It is a lot of episodes. Oh. Oh, no, I don't have anything. I was just a "Ooh." Woo.
I'm doing good. Yes, I wish I had beef lo mein in Breath of the Wild as DLC. That would have been so cool. Yes, so I am co-founder of Boss Rush Games, and I host Nintendo Power Block, our Nintendo podcast, and I do other things for Boss Rush Network when I write reviews and my own blogs, and I have my own podcast, Optional Opinion, where you guys could check out on SoundCloud and hear things about video game stuff that we normally don't talk about.
Yeah. I was just on, Crossroads on, the other day. I think it
Yeah,
just came out yesterday. So, yeah, it
yeah,
was a good time. It's always a good time with the Boss Rush guys. Guys and gals, sorry. Just there's a broad
we call it the
there's a
crew.
lot of people, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, our crew is big.
It seems like it grows all the time too, which is awesome. I mean, it's really cool what you guys have going on over there for sure.
Well, thank you. We love.
Yeah. See that disaster live.
Oof. Oh, mess. Wow.
God. I have still been playing Persona 5 Royal. I will finish it at some point. It is the game that just keeps on giving. I have put so much time in it in this last week, and it just doesn't seem like I'm making it anywhere. Last night I played for like an hour and a half, and I made it through like 4 days. That's it. Because you do all the
Wow.
confident stuff and stuff like that, and it's all over the place. I'm literally on the last palace of this game still. I'm at the boss. I was just waiting for the time to expire. I just gotta go in, fight the boss, good to go, I hope. And then I think there's a ton of dialogue after that. I've heard there's like at least 5 hours of it. So, oh
Oof.
boy. And then we go into the last little semester and we're good to go. And then I played a little bit of Diablo 3 on my Switch, like I have been. So basically, nothing new from me. How about you, Jeff? And then we'll let Ed go. Best for last, right?
It's been an interesting week. One, apparently my mic levels were super low on the intro there on YouTube, so I just fixed that right now. So it makes it even more
Nice.
interesting, but we're good. No, it's been tough to play video games this week. I mean, it's been a lot of work, um, at work, working from home, and then working at office and stuff like that. So it's been tough, but I've been able to get in a little bit of stuff, mainly like on my iPad, which is kind of nuts. So I play a little bit of Hearthstone on the iPad. It's been sad. I'm hoping this weekend I can get a lot more. I'm hoping this weekend I can get a lot more gaming in. So I hope to. Well, actually, no. I guess if technically if we're going off of last podcast, I always forget about this because we had last weekend. I played a lot of
Yeah.
God of War. So I got
Oh yeah.
decently far in God of War. Yeah.
Nice.
And then
You're doing the
Still enjoying
PS4
it?
version?
what? Yeah, I'm doing the PS4 version. Yeah.
Oh, PS4 version. Okay.
Yeah, because they don't. Well, it's not a. Well, I guess no. It download. Does it download the PS4 version, and then it upreses, or is it technically its own PS5 version?
I believe it's just the
I
PS4
think it's
version.
PS4
Yeah.
version. Yeah, I think with
Yeah.
some upres, like some
Yeah,
added stuff.
yeah. Because it's just the PlayStation Collection one. So played that. We played some. Did we play COD? No, no,
No,
no. We
I didn't
didn't.
play anything with you last weekend.
I tell you, dude. The last 2 weeks. I mean, we talked about this last week on the podcast too. It's been crazy, but like this week was crazier, and I didn't think it could get crazier. It's like this is madness. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just doing nothing this weekend and just playing some games. So
That's my game plan. What you got, Ed?
What you got, Ed?
What you been playing, buddy?
So for Xbox, I just finished Tell Me Why. Really good game. This is one from Don't Nod. I really enjoyed it. Only I think one of the problems that I have with it is like it kind of loses its way about the third act, but it gets back its traction and stuff. And there's one character with some bad voice acting. I'm like, but it's a really great game. I think Microsoft and Don't Nod did a fantastic job with it. For PlayStation, I am doing Final Fantasy VII remake, close to the end, and Yakuza. Yeah, I'm getting close to the end, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I am loving this game. Is funny,
dude. I have never
but it's
tried
really good.
Yakuza. Like, is it?
I haven't either.
Is it? Is it good? Is it that good? Like, what is it close to? Like game wise, like what would you compare it?
So the Yakuza games, the original ones, the beat 'em up ones, they're kind of like a little bit Grand Theft Auto-ish, but you're like confined in a small city. You can go anywhere and do anything that you want to and get into fights and stuff. And it has a level up system. So once you level up, you can learn new moves and things like that. So it's a really it's kind of a RPG beat 'em up for the old ones. This new one is like a role playing game, like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy, stuff like that, where you can move different places, pick a button, and then attack and stuff like that. With it, so it's kind of easier. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
This new one's, is it a prelude to the other ones, or is it not? It's not a direct sequel, right? It's kind of its own storyline.
So it's a sequel to the Yakuza games. It's actually Yakuza 7. But it's a new like storyline. So none of the characters from the old games are in it.
Okay.
Everything is like brand new and everything. So it's like a new. So
yeah, I knew it was detached, but I couldn't remember if it's supposed to take place or how that all went down. But yeah, this would probably be a pretty good time to hop into it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's in the same city, but the city has evolved like to 2019 or 2020, like that. So it's kind of like fast forward after your character goes to jail.
Don't be in that year. They don't want none of that.
Yeah. And last but not least, for Switch, I am playing Cyber Shadow. This game is released from Yacht Club Game. It's Konami's version of Ninja Gaiden meets The Messenger.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is it looks like a Konami game from Double Dribble with the character look, but it is a easier action game like they would make for it. Like it's a little bit fluid. It has that Shovel Knight feel to it and everything. It has a little bit of The Messenger in it also, but every time I'm playing it for a review for Boss Rush, and I'm just like, this just feels like a Konami game. I will say that the music is okay, but every time I listen to the music, I'm like, I wish this was Batman from Sunsoft, the NES soundtrack. Like that soundtrack from Batman from Sunsoft is a banger. Like every level is so good. It's so good, and it's just like, man, I wish Cyber Shadow had this kind of rock 8-bit feel to it, and it doesn't. It's very weird. So
yeah, it looks like it would have that real good, like kind of more rock synth type thing going on, but I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it on my PC, and I'm going to give it a go at some point. But I'm really trying to finish Persona first, and then I'm going to play other games. So
fair
and
enough.
I know it's free on Game Pass, so if anyone has Game Pass, they should try it out. But man, it's getting really good. I just need to dedicate more time to it, finish it, so I can get the review up. But man, it's been a Konami game. It
Sweet.
does.
Awesome.
nice.
Brody, you want to hit us with the upcoming game releases for this week?
Yeah, January 29th, you can get Bonkies on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. God's Will Fall on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. The Pedestrian is coming to PS4, and Tarakan Flashback is coming to PS4 and Switch. January 2nd, Apex Legends Season 8 Mayhem starts on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Control Ultimate Edition is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. Cultist Simulator Initiate Edition is coming to Switch. And on January 4th, Odysseus Cosmos and his Robot Quest is coming to Switch. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I feel like these studios are just trying to make their names as hard as possible
to read. Yeah,
just for me. I mean, I think it's just for me at this point.
Ed, any in that list that you're looking forward to or kind of intrigue you?
I kind of want to play Control, the Ultimate Edition. I played the original version on Xbox, but I want to play like the new version with the DLC. Is what I want to play for it. And pretty much I think that's about it. Not anything else now at this time, because like February is going to be bonkers for me.
Oh yeah. Brody, you?
Nothing.
An honest man.
Sorry, but
honest
there's
work,
nothing
baby.
here for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that Apex Legends is still continuing on and kicking it, with new stuff. That's great to see. I'm actually kind of interested in the Cultist Simulator. I'm a huge simulator nerd, and that just sounds super crazy. Like you can run a cult.
Yeah, it does. It does have an interesting premise for sure.
So that's pretty.
I
cool.
might check it out. That does seem like it could be fun.
I do have a question about Apex Legend. What is EA and Respawn doing it with the Switch version? Because I know it came for Steam, and it feels like they just ignoring the Switch version. And like, do you think we'll get that game in the fall this year, or what's going on with that?
I remember hearing something about it like early last year, and I have not heard anything about it since. But I feel like I can't remember if they announced it was delayed or it wasn't coming. I can't exactly remember, but yeah,
they said it was coming to Switch, but they dropped the Steam version when they did that. I think one of the ES shows, and they just like. They say everything when it comes out to Switch, they have everything with it, but it feels like so a new season is out, but the Switch version is not out. Like, what's going on with it? I wonder. Something shady is going on.
So this was posted 3 days ago. No matter how much we prepare for the show, we still have to Google things in the middle of it happening.
Yeah, it's video game land, dude.
It says the Apex Legend Nintendo Switch release date is set for February 2nd, 2021. So, next week.
There you go. Next week coming to Switch.
Supposedly. This was 3 days ago on Game Revolution. So if it doesn't happen, go after them, not us.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it was like a rumor leak for it, but I'm just like, man, everybody's gonna probably be playing like Control, Destruction All Stars, and Concrete Genie on PS4 and PS5, and it's just like,
we play
to do something.
All-Stars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to do something big like that and just drop it on Switch without like no fanfare, that seems so weird for EA to do it. It really does.
Maybe it's gonna run like crap.
I'm a little hesitant on how it's gonna run.
Maybe it's not gonna play really well because nothing against Fortnite, but I feel like there's a lot more like action in Apex Legends in terms of a fight, like sliding and just the different mechanics in it. So maybe it's just gonna maybe it doesn't play all that great. Because I mean, Overwatch on Switch, like Switch Joy-Cons, boy, no, handheld mode, you can't.
Anything FPS with the Joy-Cons is absolutely horrible.
It's pretty bad.
I kind of want to see what the Source engine does on Switch. So
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Moving on, we've got your free PlayStation Plus games for February. So you get Destruction All Stars, Control Ultimate Edition, and Concrete Genie. Obviously, fans of we're big fans of Destruction All Stars here on this show. At least Brody and myself. I don't know about Ed, but I mean,
I'm probably going since I don't have a PS5 yet. I think I'm gonna download it like on PS Plus, like to save it. So when I get my system,
is it not on PS4 at all?
I have. No, it's on the PS5.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah,
That seems like a big misstep. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have done that.
When they did that.
Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, when they did that state of play in June, when they were showing off the PS5, it was in there. So they was everything they were showing was all PS5. And then later, some games was being mentioned for PS4, but that game was only exclusive to PS5 that I know of.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you don't have a PS5, like say you have a PS4, you can log into the web browser or the app and claim it from there, and then you'll still have it in your library. So at least there's that way to do that. But I'm excited for Concrete Genie. This is a game I've heard a lot about, and I have not gotten to play it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, really, really good. And I'm mad at Sony for not promoting it the way that they should.
Yeah. I think this will do wonders for it, obviously. And then, I mean, with Destruction All-Stars in there and Control, I mean, this is a wonderful month from PlayStation. Big month.
I'd say the free games, like, every month now have been pretty solid from PlayStation.
PlayStation's killing it in that regard for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the bad thing for me is that I own most of everything. See, then I can get anything.
If I buy it, it's gonna come to Game Pass. Don't worry, I got that covered.
You know, absolutely. If Brody buys it, there's like an 80% chance it gets a Game Pass, or it's gonna go on a deep discount, like a huge discount, like above 20%.
Everybody, it's
impressive. My gosh, yeah, it's crazy. It's incredible. All right, Brody, you got Xbox?
On Xbox's side of things, the Xbox games with gold for February. On Xbox One, you can get Gears 5 from February 1st through the 28th, Resident Evil from February 1st through the 28th, and Dandara, Trials of Fear Edition, and that will be available February 16th through March 15th. And the backwards compatible games are Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, February 1st through the 15th, and Lost Planet 2, available February 16th through the 28th. So this is okay. I mean, it's better than what we've seen in the last couple months. Yeah. Gears 5 is a big one, but a lot of people have played it through Game Pass. I mean, we'll talk about Game Pass numbers later.
When do you think they'll like stop maybe doing like games with gold, because you're gonna run out of stuff with what goes to Game Pass, and the fact that they're doing like a bunch of first party stuff, you know?
I don't know. See, and I think there's still a market to give those games away for free, because if you cancel Game Pass, I mean, you still have access to it, but at the same time, I don't know. But if they were to get rid of it, there would be huge backlash, like when they tried to raise the price of gold last week.
Which that's the most annoying thing ever, because we record the show February, or we record the show, and then Friday, boom. News breaks about it. And I'm just like, I'm pissed. I'm like, that sucks.
And then before the end of the day, they had brought that back in. They're like, we aren't doing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot to even put that in here because I thought we covered it. But I guess it happened on Friday.
Yeah.
Anything that happens on Friday is a blur.
It's a blur to us, because it has a whole week to go. Wow.
But Lost Planet 2, I remember people really liked it when it came out. I don't remember if I tried it or not, but it's all right. It's a backwards compatible game. It's old at this point, but still something there.
Ed, any games in here that you're interested in?
I own all of those. I own Dandara on Switch. I got Lost Planet. I bought Gears 5 when it actually came out on stores. So I think I'll probably get Gears 5 just so I can have the digital version on it for free, and just won't have to worry about the disc and everything. Other than that, that's the thing with games for gold and PSN. Like I said, when these games come out, I buy them, and then a year later they show up on some other thing. Be like, well, I already played and finished that, and I moved on. So, but Dandara, I really like because it's a black protagonist. and a female black protagonist, and like that's something I haven't seen in games, like actually having that. So I think people who we're talking about diversity and everything, I think it would be cool if people give that game a try.
Yeah, that is really cool they're doing that. Moving on into a new section of our show called Game Delays of the Week. Just with everything.
I hate that this is something we do now, but here we are.
Just because of the times they are changing. Returnal has been pushed back from its initial release date of March 19th to now April 30th. So not a huge one, but nonetheless a delay. And The Lord of the Rings Gollum has been delayed now until 2022. So, and keep in mind, 2022 has 12 months. And 365 days. So we don't know when it goes, but it could be one of those 365 days. I'm
still not even sure how I feel about Gollum. I really don't know if that's a game I'd play.
He creeps me out.
And it's all about stealth, and we've covered this many times.
We ain't big stealth guys. No, man, we're the worst stealth people ever. Like, if we co-op a game and there's stealth, we just both run and gun it.
I bet I can take him out first. It's fine.
Yeah, I could do stuff with ease, but I think this Lord of the Rings game, I feel like this Lord of the Rings game just wasn't even finished at all. Like, I feel like they're just starting development on this game. Like, you push it for a whole year. I'm like, goodness, did you guys just started working on this?
Well, you've got to imagine also that like a lot of studios are just shitting their pants from the Cyberpunk deal that came out, and like this whole, I think a lot of studios thought they could get around things with like the day 1 patch update or like, day 2, day 3 hot fixes and stuff like that. And I think that now, like, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that's really an option anymore for a lot of these studios, and I think they have to kind of just come out with a solid game like they used to on day 1, and then make some little bug fixes and hot fixes here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably your reason.
I wonder if it's Unreal Engine 5, because I thought that was supposed to be saving development time. Like, is anyone doing that now, or is Unreal 5 still locked? I mean, it's supposed to be on PlayStation. They're supposed to be the ones that's using it now.
Yeah,
it's 2021, and when it opens up, like, are there still going to be delays, or is Unreal Engine 5 going to be a mess to work with?
Who knows? Epic Games to get her going, but I mean,
I'm trying to think who's developing this. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Returnal. Yeah. Returnal. I'm glad that they pushed it back. That's a good way to do Returnal and then go to Resident Evil 7. I mean Resident Evil 8. You got Monster Hunter Rise dropping, and like Rise and Returnal was exactly that would have been happening, but now Rise is going to have some good spotlight on Switch, and then when people are done with Rise or whatever, they could jump into Returnal. But unless Nintendo does something for Mario and Zelda for their 35th, and we just get a whole bunch of craziness going on in between. So, and then we still waiting for Series X on what they're going to do, because right now it's only the medium, and we don't have nothing else until what. Hellblade and
you almost got a price hike. They cut that back, right?
Yeah, man. So Gollum's being developed by Daedalic Entertainment, and it's on Unreal Engine. I don't know if it's 4 or 5. I would assume it's 5, but
I think, are they still using the numbers with it, or are they just kind of like doing like the Windows thing where it's like Windows 10 will be Windows forever? Like it's.
No, it's Unreal 5.
It is labeled. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Cool.
So we have some quick news tidbits here. There wasn't enough to really spend a ton of time on these, so I'll kind of blow through these real quick and we'll circle back to them. There is now a deals section on the PlayStation Store on PS5. I know that took way too long to get here, but it's here.
Wow.
The demo for Immortals Phoenix Rising is no longer an exclusive to Stadia. It is now available on all platforms, Switch included. Slay the Spire, a popular roguelike deck building game, is coming to Android on February 3rd. And AMD CEO believes that GPU and console shortages will continue into the second half of 2021. And I'm sure that is no surprise to anyone.
Yeah. The Phoenix Rising, I'll be interested to see when it goes to these other platforms how well it does.
So it's actually been out. Just the demo is no longer exclusive.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be interesting to see like when people can like try it out.
Yeah,
you know, and like get a feel for it, because I think a lot of people are holding back on it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking very positively about it, but it is still something that I want to try before I buy it, I guess, and see if I can get into it. Because I guess there's some things that people don't like, and
well, it's taking on Zelda, right?
Great. Well,
and it's like you love Zelda so much, and it's like, man, can it be better? If it's not going to be better, then why would you play it, right?
I think because I have Immortals on Switch, and it's a good game. Like wherever you play it at, I think during the month of December when that game came out, Cyberpunk was such a big thing that people were just like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then they was disappointed, and people went back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Immortals, and kind of waited for Hitman and stuff. So I think this demo would give people a good idea where the Breath of the Wild, I want to say contributions come in a sense for that game. I think this would give people a good idea of trying it out and be like, oh, okay, I'll go and get it, because it's been like on like $40 and $30 sales ever since it came out. Like
classic Ubisoft sales.
Right.
Knock 20 off that baby like 3 weeks in. Yeah. 21 days in, knock $20 off that baby.
No, I'm definitely going to check it out, though. I mean, for a demo, and I want to play it on PS5. It'll be kind of that filler. I mean, I've heard it's not as great on Switch, even though Switch is kind of the ideal place for a game like that. It just works so well. But I mean, the graphics aren't nearly as good, and I haven't heard of really any like frame rate drops or anything like that. I just heard they had to kind of downplay it a little bit. But I definitely want to check it out, and it'll be something to pass the time until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. So
Stadia is also like
I think
echo chamber too, where it's like you don't really see what's going on in there, or like I mean, seriously, like I have not seen and I mean maybe it's just the YouTube algorithms being crappy, but I have not seen a Stadia ad on YouTube for a very long time, anywhere where I surf the web, anywhere on social media. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard a lot of like places talking about it, like IGN and GameSpot and all that kind of stuff. I don't hear about it.
So Stadia had this big push because of Cyberpunk getting the praise on Stadia.
And it worked,
right.
And so they used that to their benefit, to get that thing out. And so that's the last time I seen it. And I would still be like, well, do you got your 60 frames and 4K still working, or you guys, is it still broke? But they took advantage of people liking it on Stadia and ran with it. Like, that's smart marketing on Google's part. Now it's just like, okay, what do we do now?
Even then, it seemed like it was just something mentioned under someone's breath. Like, it was like,
because people still complained about it. Like, hey, that's cool, but I can't play it on my PS5. It's like,
right.
I mean, you go check it out.
I can't play it on the PS4. So, it's like, it got a little bit of a limelight there, but it seemed like it was still very short-lived.
But they didn't even capitalize on it.
No, they should have.
That was what was wild. As people were doing it, they should have immediately come out with a tweet and been like, hey, having trouble with Cyberpunk? I mean, they, honest to God, dude, should have said, this weekend you can play blah, blah, blah for $5 or for free. Something. Yeah. But get in there, try it out, free trial, 7-day free trial, get people playing Cyberpunk on Stadia, and then get them into that environment, in that ecosystem, right? I mean, that they should
blew their whole marketing budget early.
Yeah, on just weird commercials that were like Old Spice commercials. Like, you didn't know what was going on. If they're selling the console, if they're doing just a weird Old Spice commercial.
Yeah.
I wonder if Microsoft contract had for their marketing for Cyberpunk has something to do with it. Because
that could be
exclusivity on marketing. Yeah, that's a very good point, Ed. So I've got you on here to bring the smart points to this show, because we're both really dumb when it comes to that. Oh man. Also the
logic over here.
The AMD shortage, like the GPU shortage. Are we sure like that's everything? Are we sure it's also not just like all the crazy stuff going on with China?
I'm sure that has some part in it.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not going to come out and say that, but Yeah, I would imagine that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, when you think, so he says, second half into the second half. I mean, so when do you think like this kind of ends and like you think that you'll be able to maybe go pick one up? Because I think it's going to go all the way till 2022, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because
I do too.
especially with the PS5, because they sold almost like 5 or 6 million units already on the PS5, and you have supply chain issues already under that. That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, both PlayStation and Xbox, their first month was just insane, the amount of consoles they sent, and people are still complaining like, oh, we can't find them. Well, that's true, but at the same time, they shipped more consoles than they've ever shipped at launch, which is impressive in itself, given the year we just had.
Consoles are dead, though.
Right.
Every generation, dude.
Which is surprising that Switch is killing both of them, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Japan just recorded another hit milestone for Switch in their country, like with the top 10 games and selling the system. So I think if Sony and Microsoft don't get this under control or get this fixed or anything, it's going to be another good year for Nintendo and everything, and people won't have no choice but to game on that system. So I'm like, you guys got oh, go ahead, Brody.
No, you're good. Sorry.
I was about to say,
there's like a slight delay in the video, and it's throwing me off.
Interwebs.
Like I kind of asked one of the people from A4 Play of like, how is PlayStation doing in Japan? Because like, if you really want a Series X, see if you can get it from Japan, because it's not on anybody's list. If Japan got a lot of Series X that America could easily get, they need to start sending them our way.
Know something about Xbox in Japan? So, Xbox market share for Xbox One in Japan, I think, was less than 1%.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 1.3 or something like that.
Yeah, I was in like a meeting or something like that, and there was information, and it was like 1% on Xbox One. It's fine because it's Xbox One, but yeah, it was like 1% or like less than 1%. And I'm like, holy smokes, guys. But the other problem they have out there, too, is like you have people like PC game and then rip games. I mean, you know.
And a lot of mobile. There's
the
mobile market
tons of mobile
huge.
games. With Switch, though, too, Ed, like that's a really good point. Talking on that, too, with the Switch. Brody, last time I was at your house and I picked up the Switch Lite, I was like, man, I just want a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Because I don't like... I mean, it feels better than, you hold the thing and you can feel the Joy-Cons like move. If they come out with a Switch Pro or a Switch Pro Lite, which is better materials and a better resolution screen and less bezels, like a bigger screen, I'll buy it day one, 100%. Because I mean, I want just the handheld. I want a Game Boy.
We had a discussion on Power Block that what if the Switch Pro was like almost close to a Xbox One X? And it was able to do 2K or 1440p, like when it's docked and stuff.
Instead?
Like,
have a battery life of like 30 minutes.
No, you mean like this is still a console that like hooks up to the.
Well, it still does the Switch, but the specs inside of it is close to the Xbox One.
Why haven't they done that though yet? But why haven't they done just a box?
It's been reported that Nintendo is looking into getting higher specs for their consoles to kind of match with Microsoft and Sony. With the
Mario
Switch,
Party
they
4K.
kind of actually, because you didn't think with Wii U, what can Nintendo do with HD, and then you see what they did with HD, and it's just like, oh my goodness. So to see what they could do with like 1440p or 2K. That I think more people will be like, okay, this is a Switch Pro. This is not just an upgrade. This is like something, and I could play this on the go and still take it. They fixed the drifting, whatever. I think Nintendo could do it, and make it like $400 some. People would double
buy
dip.
that. People buy cardboard from them, dude. People buy anything that's Nintendo stamped, man. Absolutely. Brody, have you been into Paper Mario yet, or no?
I haven't yet.
I haven't been into like Link's Awakening yet either. When you see the water in Paper Mario, it's incredible what they can do with it. But do you have any last piece there, Brody?
Yeah. So as far as the Switch Pro, the problem would be battery life. I mean, you're going to have to put a pretty impressive battery, and now you're going to be adding weight to it. And you're also going to be size, and you're going to be going up in price quite a bit. So they're only going to be able to do so much. But what I think they should be able to do is have something to where when you're handheld, I mean, it already does it now. It downscales it for handheld versus when you're playing on your actual TV, right? So if they can do something along those lines, I think it'd be good. Or even just doing like we've talked about before and like what you mentioned a second ago, where they actually just have a home console version of it too. I mean, the opposite end of your Switch Lite, where some people just play on the TV. They don't even like handheld. I just play handheld, so the Switch Lite is perfect for me. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And honestly, I think Nintendo's going to kill it regardless, even if Xbox and PlayStation kind of get all this under control. I think Switch is still just going to sell like crazy because it's a great console and it's a nice complement to a home system as well.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think Switch has so much like indie games that even if they do have like the battery, let's say the battery is 30 minutes long or something like that, there's so many people who play so many indies on Switch on the go and everything, and even some of the PC games that like it wouldn't even matter. Like I think the thing that people would have to worry about is Nintendo games themselves running like Fire Emblem Three Houses or playing Breath of the Wild 2 on the go. Like that's going to be where the power is, because you can play all the other third-party games on the other systems, unless you feel like you want to go through the Witcher 3 again on Switch. That'll be up to that person.
Double Dash, and if you make me have to spend $500 for Double Dash, I'm on it, baby. That's it.
Oh, I need that so much.
The Switch is my favorite place to play indie games, easily. It's by far the best place to play them.
It's fantastic for them. Yeah. Moving on. Hitman 3 is killing it, no pun intended. IO's CEO has already come out to talk about the success of Hitman 3 within a week of launch in an interview with GameIndustry.biz. He says, "It has been a labor of love between our fans and everyone at the studio. As a developer and publisher, we are immensely proud that we can say Hitman 3 is already profitable," which is huge. That's incredible. We have recouped the total project costs, in less than a week. That puts us in a really good place and allows us to confidently move forward with our ambitious plans for future projects. This is the first game from IO Interactive since becoming independent in 2012, so huge.
2017, that was my bad.
Sorry, 2017, my bad. Hey. The studio also announced that they'll be making a 007 game, which I'm super stoked for, with an entirely new Bond. IO plans to essentially double their staff and open a new studio in Sweden to work on this new game. To no one's surprise, there's also a lot riding on the success of this IP, and IO is devoted to giving it the attention that it deserves. Good on IO, man. Going out on your own, hitting this off, being profitable in week one with it as an first time being independent, and then now they're ready. They're ready for this 007 game. I mean, they make a great Hitman. I can't even imagine what 007 is going to be like. It's going to be cool to have more of the... I guess it's still pretty like espionage and spy with Hitman, but be cool to be like the good guy, I guess. Like on this. I mean, I guess you're kind of the good guy, kind of ish.
I bet they'll still go for a similar approach in the gameplay. I mean, I bet it'll be different, obviously, but I think there will still be a lot of stealth, which, I mean, in a lot of James Bond movies, you aren't really seeing that.
There's got to be driving. There's got to be driving.
There's got to be driving.
Weird vehicles.
No more driving. Those driving sections in Bond games are terrible.
Well, maybe IO
do better.
Yeah, maybe IO do better. I want to see from Die Another Day, which arguably is like, I think a lot of people don't like that one. But from the movie Die Another Day, there's one where he's like in this like hovercraft thing that has like a massive submachine gun on the back of it. And then it's like blowing through like North Korea. And it's just like lighting it up. It's like, I want to be going in the hovercraft, ripping through the jungle, submachine gun, all this cool stuff. Like, and like action scenes like Spider-Man kind of.
Yeah. I think it's actually pretty neat that they're doing a different Bond too. They're not going to base it off of one of the movie Bonds, which I think that's the way to go about it.
To do,
yeah. If you were to use Sean Connery or whatever, it's gonna be weird,
right? Like every like 3 movies or something, it kind of changes Bonds or whatever unspoken thing there is.
Yeah, Daniel Craig is no longer Bond. I can't remember who the new Bond is.
He did 3 films too, right? 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think he did 3.
Yeah. Okay, and Pierce Brosnan did. Yeah, I think he did 3. Yeah.
And then Sean Connery
Sean Connery did a bunch. I think
he
Sean
did a
Connery,
ton.
yeah, he's like the Bond. Yeah.
Because Skyfall's the third one that's coming out. Or
Skyfall's already been out, I think.
Skyfall's been out.
There's
something
one more
else
Daniel
that comes
Craig.
out. Let me look at
the
it.
Skyfall Casino Royale. And then this one, this third one that's supposed to come out in October, right? I think that's the third one.
I don't know. I don't
Oh
keep
my
up with them all that
gosh,
well.
There's so many. There's so many of them.
Because I think the next one is a black.
No
female.
Time to Die.
Yeah.
No Time to Die is the new one. So you had Daniel Craig had actually holy 5? Oh my gosh.
Oh, did he really?
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die.
Spectre was
Pierce Brosnan had 4 of them. GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Oh yeah. Wow. Dude, there's so many Bond films you forget how many there are.
And then
wacky.
after this next one with Daniel Craig, they're like you said, they're going to a female black woman.
Yeah.
Or a female black lead. So that'd be pretty cool. Huge change.
Said something about that.
Very big change, yeah. Yeah. Craziness. Holy smokes, man. I can't believe
But that's the beauty of Bond. Bond can be anybody. It's been held by so many people at this point that I mean you can change it to anybody and it works.
They should make Danny DeVito Bond.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
No.
He goes to jump off a cliff, he's too short. We gotta go.
Hearing his voice, I would be like, I need to leave.
Oh God. So the Yakuza.
Congratulations.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say congratulations to IO for
Oh yeah.
Hitman 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Yakuza Remastered Collection is available now. This kind of like shadow dropped, honestly. It seemed to come out of nowhere, but the games are all available separately and as a bundle on Xbox One, Xbox Game Pass for PC, Windows 10, and Steam. And you do have to differentiate all of those. The games included in this bundle are Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. And there was a slight problem with the release on Steam, but according to Sega, everything should be working fine now. And this was as of like halfway through the day on Thursday. So
cool.
Yeah.
Ed, you're the Yakuza guy.
Yeah.
What you feel on this?
Yes. It's good that it is coming out for Xbox players. Will they play it though? That's going to be debatable. Because a lot of us been trying to get people to play the series, and it still feels like a niche title to them. But I do recommend playing them, giving them a try. Mm-hmm. The plot is kind of almost the same in all of these games, but you actually end up loving like Kiru. And like seeing his dragon tattoo in the back, you just be like, man, this is so cold, so cool and stuff. But I do recommend people go play those games, especially if
I've
you got
seen
Game Pass. Play them.
Yeah.
But
I've seen the series get a lot more love as of lately. I mean, like you said, it is still kind of a niche thing, but it's definitely slowly starting to catch on. And I think Like a Dragon is doing pretty well for it. And then Judgment before that even did really well for that series. And so it's starting to become a little bit more mainstream, but I mean, it is kind of one of those things that people still just don't know what to think of it. And it's, I mean, especially when you see like Yakuza 5, it's like, well, do I have to play from the beginning? I mean, am I going to be lost if I don't? Do I have to play through 5 games that are fairly lengthy? And so I think it's intimidating to some people.
To understand the stories and the clans and everything, you do need to play each game from the beginning. To understand why all of this stuff keeps happening and why like certain characters keep appearing and why there's some goofiness and stuff. Like you gotta start from the zero stuff. And
I think that's part of the. I think that's part of the beauty of Like a Dragon is it's kind of like a soft reboot of sorts to where people can jump in now and not feel nearly as intimidated about having to play like 7 games because there was There was a couple other ones too that aside from the numbers, weren't there? There was like a
I think there was like
Kasumi-
some like side, like the full game, but then there's like side DLC or something, and there's like a remaster, or like a redux.
So there was one that was like in the Edo period where like far samurai back Japan, and then there's like the zombie ones for it. And then a lot of those are in Japan. They never came to America, which is weird with something like the Yakuza, Monster Hunter, and Persona, that they all started as niche games and now they're like big and popular in America. And for some of us, like Japanese gamers, I should say, or love for it, it's just like, you guys are now just catching on to these games. We've been playing them back since like the early 2000s, but it's good that people are recognizing and playing these games and getting the feel for it. So it's good. Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Ninja Theory is no longer supporting Bleeding Edge. So with the studio now focusing on our new projects, this is a quote, Senua's Saga, Project Mara, and the Insight Project, we have decided that there will be no further content updates for Bleeding Edge. The game is still playable on Xbox and PC. Thank you to the fans, and keep teaming up and causing chaos. So ending for that, moving on to bigger and brighter things, and we'll see what they bring out. So
yeah, I don't even think Bleeding Edge got any kind of content. Like I have the game. I know it came out, but like, did it get anything, or did people?
I think it got some patches. I think all it got was like support patches more than anything. I don't think it got any like new content. I don't think there was any characters added or anything.
Content push or something like that. I think it was just like, this is just like, hey, we're ending service just in total for this thing. So like whatever.
Yeah, he means over like the life of the game. I mean,
they
didn't really do anything for it. It just kind of like came out and pretty much died on arrival. I mean, there wasn't a lot of fanfare around it. I know some people really liked it, but for the most part, most people were pretty kind of lukewarm on it at best, and it was just kind of there.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Sad to see their action stuff like kind of fading away with Ninja Theory, because I'm like, that this is the thing that made you as a company. And yes, I love Hellblade and I love what they go next, but it's gonna come within 5 years of owning the Series X where I'm gonna be like, I wish they made some kind of stylish action game, and it's gonna hurt me knowing that I won't get one.
I feel like, like you said, that's what they're known for, but I think they found kind of their own new niche, and that's kind of where they're just settling into, and not necessarily unfortunately, but that's just kind of part of it as the studio grows, and they made Hellblade, and that seems to be their main focus going forward, and I can't blame them,
right? I mean, like,
and they did try with Bleeding Edge, and it just kind of fell flat for them, unfortunately, and that's unfortunately where it leaves us, I guess. So.
They're such a talented studio, and I still feel like DMC Devil May Cry is maybe their number one best game of all time from that company.
I still feel like Hellblade doesn't even get like that much recognition.
It did when it first came out. There was quite a bit. I mean, it took a little bit, but it eventually got the recognition that it deserved. I mean, I've tried it, but yeah, it's a little bit more of a little bit more story based than anything. It's kind of a narrative type experience from what I had played of it. And it was cool though. I mean, they did some really neat stuff with it, but
cool.
So 343 will be providing monthly updates for Halo Infinite going forward.
Finally.
So, the community manager, Brian Jared, responded to a post on Reddit that was questioning 343's communication with fans as of late. He said, considering we went 12-month stretches of total darkness and our last update was on December 8th, I don't think there's any cause to worry. Seemed like a little bit of shade, but I like it. We also confirmed our fall release window in that update, so now it's clear we have some runway ahead of us and some time to go. That said, we're committed to at least monthly high-level updates, and the next Inside Infinite is coming out this week. He also said in reference to the Inside Infinite, to manage expectations, this won't have world premiere big screenshots or huge things like a date announce, but our goal is to offer our community more context and insights into our team and the game we're making while we're all awaiting the larger beats and full marketing machine later this year.
So
It's
It has infinite amount of problems.
This is the thing about it. They're using their new engine, Slipstream, and I felt like it's good that they delayed, and it's good that they're getting this new stuff. I feel like they were still learning this engine, and I think when they start providing information and showing pictures, if they actually show a little bit, just a still from what was actually going to be from the game, you're going to get a good idea. Be like, okay, this is going to be something spectacular because now they finally know their engine and they're able to use it to their benefit. And this is going to be hyping Halo, or not hyping. It's going to take Halo Infinite to a new level of anticipation and expectations and stuff. Good thing, because I think that was the problem with the last stuff. It's just like you guys are still learning this engine, even though you're creating it. And I don't think this game is ready to go if it feels like you're still learning your own engine.
Yeah, this game, I can't believe that last fall they were acting like this was going to come out with the Xbox Series X, and then like 2 weeks later completely delay it. And now, I mean,
Right.
our guess all along has been that it was going to be pushed back, I mean, a full year.
Yeah.
And so here we are, now it has been confirmed that it is going to be next fall. It just seems so strange or this fall, sorry. It just seems weird because there's a side of me that believes they knew it was kind of half baked, and then they put that gameplay out there and it got so much backlash, and then they're back to the drawing board. And I mean, they're giving themselves enough time to do some good things with this game and improve it. And we knew their multiplayer was not ready to go at launch if they did launch when they wanted to, so that's probably a big portion of it as well.
Right.
But it is a weird thing because we have a new Xbox, but we don't have Halo, which traditionally you typically have a Halo with the new Xbox.
Yeah.
So it is bizarre, but I think they made the right move to delay this. And
Oh, absolutely.
honestly, they can take as long as they need because it's not like they have a plethora of Xboxes sitting on shelves that aren't selling. Like, they're still selling everything they have, so they don't have to get this out. They don't have to push this out. They're still doing okay. And I think in the long run, this will be a very good move, and hopefully this game comes out better than 5 because I despised 5.
5, I think 5 was good cutscene wise. The story was was confusing, a mess. But cutscene wise for 5, I enjoyed. I love looking at the cutscenes.
Yeah, they looked good, but the story was a mess, and I hated the multiplayer. What they did there was just weird.
I mean, they definitely should have just done this like all the way up and beyond E3. And their inside Xbox stuff when they're showing. I mean, they really should just had. If you were gonna have like this big world, because I mean, my thing is this: like, they're changing Halo completely, and so it's like, why would you not spend as much time as possible with the Halo community, showing them what new Halo is, instead of just here it is and throw it out there, and it doesn't really make any sense. Like, I feel like they should definitely been doing better work.
Yeah,
they don't follow the Nintendo method where we'll just announce something and then we're going to shut up. You can ask us all you want to, but we're going to shut up. And when we feel like showing,
we're going to tell you a damn thing.
Exactly, because I'm like, everybody's crying for Metroid Prime 4. Shut up about Metroid Prime 4. We know that they got some hot talent coming on. This is going to be something that we don't even know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You got a lot of top, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and other. I think someone from Gears or something is there. Like, you got big people coming to Metroid Prime 4, and it's going to be completely different. So shut up and let Nintendo and Retro do what they need to do. Once they are ready to show you, they're going to show you. You're going to be like, okay, this is what Microsoft should have did. This is what 343 Studios. This is what CD Projekt Red should have do. This is what studios should have do when they're ready to show something, and it's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think in this case specifically, though, I think it is wise of them to at least have monthly updates, whether they're small or large. I think in
Yeah.
this specific
Especially
case,
with
this
what
is a great
happened
thing
when they
because,
showcased it. Ugh.
yeah, to showcase it and then go dark for a year would look very suspicious. By keeping the community involved, especially the Halo community, which can be
Yeah.
a little fickle at times. Let's be perfectly honest here.
Nice word.
But yeah.
Nice,
But
fickle.
I think it's just I think this is wise. It will work out for them in the long run. If they can actually ship this game in fall and keep everybody in the loop with what's going on, like they were doing with the Master Chief Collection after they finally got that under control, the updates and then bringing it to PC, they did a good job with that, and they're still doing a good job with that. I really think there's a lot of potential here, and I really think they are making the right decision. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Second last news story of this episode. This generation seems to be off to a much better start for Xbox while we're on the whole Xbox topic. So Xbox has reported that there are now 18 million Game Pass subscribers, which is a 3 million increase from the numbers they reported in September. Satya Nadella, who's the CEO of Microsoft, also revealed in an earnings call earlier this week that there are more than 100 million active monthly users on Xbox Live. That's huge. And the launch of this generation has been the most successful launch in Microsoft's history. Nadella stated that this is the most devices ever sold in a launch month for Microsoft. So good on them. Good for Game Pass, obviously. I'm sure that they would have liked to have nailed down that increase right before their shareholder call because it would have exploded their stock. However, now they have to go back to the drawing board. I think what they will be doing is they will raise it, but they will obviously not double it.
Yeah, it'll probably go up a couple bucks.
Yeah, like it'll go. I think what they're just gonna do is like the frog to, I forget what the theory is, but like a frog in a slowly warming, vial of water or whatever, and then all of a sudden it gets too hot and the frog doesn't realize it's boiling. So they'll probably put like a buck here this year, and then they'll be like, hey, it's going up by $1.99. So $2? No, $1.99.
The Netflix method.
Yeah, and then
Netflix keeps going up by like $2 every year.
Well, they're gonna have to,
here you
right?
go.
I mean, they can't.
Oh, yeah.
They can't sustain this method, clearly, and the problem here too is that they're shaping their customers into the subscription method, which is fine. But you get rid of your whales when you do that too, because it's like they don't need to go buy those first party titles. And then now you've got to look into your development costs and how big games are getting. It's like, could you really, can you make a Halo Infinite, okay, with Game Pass users on it, and Halo Infinite been profitable per the people actually like downloading for the reason of Halo Infinite? Like that's the problem. Is they can't like you have to put surveys out.
You place 20 games on there that people will be able to beat within the whole year? Because that's the question that I have about Game Pass is that, yes, you got these indies, you got this old third-party games, you got this first-party games, but how many people are really beating games on Game Pass? How many people are you doing this just because Destiny's on there and that's all you play throughout the whole year and everything? Game Pass is a great service, but what benefit and value are people getting if they're not beating or playing a lot of games on that service?
Yeah, and I don't know what they might have done like to study like playtime, but I feel like the majority of people do not finish games. So like if you're gonna make a game, the game has to be your key metric is gonna be playtime now, right? So like if I'm a consumer and I download Halo Infinite, right? Like what's my break even on me as a user if I'm downloading Game Pass, right? And I'm paying, what is it, $9.99 a month still? Or what is it? Is it more now?
Yeah, for basic it's
so like what, 15 for Ultimate?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So say I've got 15 for Ultimate because I want to play, Halo Infinite. Like is that the break even cost per user for me to play Halo Infinite based on the project cost, the servers, all this other shit? Or is it, and then, or is it, do I have to play it for 3 months, right? Because you don't get $60 right off the bat. You have to wait 4 months to get $60 as a company. So it's just like, I see people dipping in and out, and I just don't know how that's profitable to what they're making.
I feel like I'd rather just do a one-time payment instead of just paying monthly for games on there that I'm not going to even give a try. Like everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Game Pass is this and that," and the first thing they say is, "I'll try a little bit of it and then I'll delete it." I'm like, so you're paying $15 to play 45 minutes, make your own decision, and then move on, but then be mad at people that don't got Game Pass that you're trying to sell them on a service that you really don't fully commit to. It's very weird when it comes to people talking about Game Pass. I know that's why I have all of these games because I'd rather just pay it all out because I know I'm going to get the full enjoyment when I pay it out. And once I'm done packing it, I could take it off my system and not have to pay Microsoft a cent ever again in every month for a game that I'm not playing. They already got my $60.
So here's where I'm at on it. See, I pay for Game Pass, and I don't even play my Xbox much anymore. But I play some of the games on PC.
Yeah.
And then my kids still play on the Xbox, so they have 5-6 games that they play on Xbox. And so now, if I were to cancel Game Pass, not only do I still have to pay for Live in order to play anything online, which again my kids play online.
Yeah.
I would have to buy all of the games that they play, and then anything that comes out the rest of the year, I would have to buy as well. So as a consumer, it works out great for me. I mean, I pay $15 a month.
As a consumer,
it's pricey,
fantastic.
but
yeah.
Consumer side is great, right? And that's why I'm curious, like, what is the profit off of this? But at the same time, I mean, they kind of sneakily got rid of the year membership to Live.
Yep.
That's no longer an option. I actually bought a 3 months card off of Amazon because I was trying to get in while you could still get the ultimate added, this and that. And as soon as I entered that in, it actually converted it over to like 2 months of Game Pass Ultimate by itself, and there was no other option. So they've actually very sneakily done this thing where you almost have to buy at least base Game Pass in order to have Live, because it is no longer that easy to get into unless you go through their website and subscribe for it, which you can still do, but it's not super easy.
Which I was weird about that, about the 12-month thing, not the story from last week. When did Microsoft announce that they would stop doing it? Because I didn't. Just renewed. Right, because I renewed mine automatically like in December. So it was just like, wait, and people had just renewed their Xbox Live before that story came out. So I'm like, when did Microsoft talk about they would stop doing it? Like it's very weird.
They
and
didn't.
Plus,
it just happened.
It just happened. Oh wow! Because I need to check to see if my 12-month thing is still there, because it's just like they didn't say this inside Xbox. They didn't send me an email or anything about it. I didn't know nothing about this, so it's kind of weird that they would do it.
I mean, I would assume from a business standpoint, the gravy for them is like the indie titles that immediately like go right to Game Pass. Because, they're doing like a deal for like, hey, we'll like print you a check for like $250,000. Okay, cool, great. Like whatever, right? And then they send it to this smaller studio. They're going to get that value back. But that's not like, they have almost like two competing strategies. And one is, find indie titles to like, supplement Game Pass, but then pour just billions of dollars now at this point into purchasing studios to then have millions and millions and millions of dollars each year into development. And it's like, I mean, like you said, it's fantastic for the consumer, but it's not fantastic for the business. And they're going to have to eventually, like, you start rolling like Bethesda games in there and like all this other shit, and you go, holy crap. Like they're all going to sit around there and go, oh my God, we have to raise this up to whatever, there's no way to maintain it.
Yeah. At a certain point though, I mean, if they keep to the 100 games model roughly, right? Obviously, sometimes it gets higher than that. But I think the amount of indie games you see are going to be lower. So now they're not going to be paying out those studios. They're going to be paying their own studios that they own. Yeah. So ultimately, it's not the end of the world. But and on top of that, if they just had indie games, if they didn't have those AAA titles, not many people would sign up for Game Pass, because the AAA titles getting those free are free, right? And it's not really free, but getting it for quote unquote free is kind of one of the big selling points.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Which is funny when it comes to the indie titles, because indie developers depend on Nintendo for that. Like people, people are double dipping more on Nintendo indie games of getting it digital and getting it physical, like from I Am 8-bit or Limited Run. So they don't care what they do on Game Pass. If they could get $15 from you and then double that or triple it with $45 with a collection physically for Limited Run, indies care more about that than what they would get from Game Pass.
Nintendo should
Like
do
it-
an indie pass. That's like a Game Pass, but it's just indie games.
Yeah,
And they run them through this program, like you're a small studio, cool. Here's a check for blah, 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 blah. We'll buy your game, we put in indie pass, and you make X amount off of it or whatever.
But then how are they going to pad out Game Pass? They'd end up cannibalizing their own product at that point.
No, I'm talking about Nintendo.
But the thing about it,
Oh,
Yeah, I'm talking
Nintendo.
about
I
Nintendo.
think-
Which
I think the
Nintendo
thing
might go to
about it-
Game Pass, but who knows?
I think when people see an indie game in a Nintendo Direct, everybody's just like, "Oh, I'm just buying that." So they'll full out just go ahead and buy it. They don't want another indie Game
Yeah,
Pass
this
for it because
is
if
true.
they're going to spend. Look at Hades, for example, and even Dead Cells. They've been on PC for ages before they came to Nintendo. They showed up on a Nintendo Direct and just blew out the water with sales.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, being exclusive to the Epic Game Store wasn't necessarily helping it. I mean, there was a big boycott against the Epic Game Store in general, so that's not great. But I mean, indies really thrive on. Indies really thrive on. I sold all my information to China. It's fine. Indies actually thrive on Steam, and then. But the people who don't play on PC are the people that are usually picking it up on Nintendo. I mean, it is so much easier for these developers to be like, "Oh yeah, it's just coming to Steam," and that's simple for them. And then, but Nintendo, like, there's certain games that just don't come to Nintendo until last.
Right.
Now, granted, they're making crazy sales on Nintendo at that point, but that's also
The development work, just crazy.
yeah, it becomes this weird give and take scenario. But I mean, like I said earlier, I love playing indie games on my Switch. That's my favorite place to play them because most of the time they're bite size or there's something you're just playing for a little bit. And so sitting down and playing it mobile is the ideal way to play it for me rather than, okay, I got to go turn the computer on and sit down at a desk to play it. Like I can sit on the couch, lay back and play a game.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to get up and go do something, hit the sleep button and then go do it, come back, play a little bit more. Like that's why I like it. But yeah, it is weird. Indies kind of are this whole other realm too that just add to the confusion of all of it.
Yes, it is confusing.
Hey, shoot. If Hades would have came to Game Pass and Hades would have came out on a physical version for Switch on the same day, Best Buy would be sold out before people play it on Game Pass. It's crazy.
Sweet. I'd like to make a just quick Doge alert. It's up to 8 cents.
Holy cow, what happened?
It's almost up to
Holy
9 cents
cow.
or 10 cents now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Start recording a podcast and it jumped up 4 cents.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, wow.
insane.
All hell Doge. Brody, you want to hear us the last story?
Yeah, so
right.
the EU is setting their sights on Ed's precious Nintendo. After over 25,000 complaints from various different countries, the European Consumer Organization will take the head of the Europe-wide investigation into the very well-known issue of Joy-Con drift. So we've covered this topic quite a bit so far, but there are a couple statements from the European Consumer Organization that are kind of interesting. So their first statement is consumers assume the products they buy to last an appropriate amount of time according to justified expectations, not to have to pay for expensive replacements due to a technical defect. Nintendo must now come up with the proper solution for the thousands of consumers affected by this problem. And then their next statement says, early obsolescence is a growing concern for all consumers. The Commission is determined to act against such trends and to empower consumers in the green transition. We are preparing a new legislation initiative aiming to provide consumers with better information on products' sustainability, including durability and better protection against certain practices such as early obsolescence. And then Nintendo has obviously yet to comment on this formal investigation because they don't really do that.
They're
But
gonna.
this is absolutely nothing new. It's just continuing to rear its ugly head as people use their Switch more, because not everybody plays their Switch as much as we do, and it's not always an issue. But I mean, I've changed the joysticks on mine like 3 times now, and I've sent a pair out to Nintendo to actually be done as well. So it is a very bad issue that I just, it's amazing that this is even still something that makes the news. I feel like we've talked about this for the last 2 years since we started the show, and here we are, you know, and Nintendo's done a decent job of at least fixing it, but they're, as far as you could send your Joy-Cons in and they would fix it free, but that wasn't until last year that they started doing that. And even then, it's like, I don't want to send my Joy-Cons off every time something's going wrong. I would just want you to actually fix the problem. Right. If you put the same damn parts in the Joy-Con I just sent you, what good does it do?
What if what if their cheap answer is, we're going to send you ones that are Labo, and they're just made of cardboard?
It might hold up better at this point.
I see Nintendo being like that company that sends like, here's a drift stick or stick drift kit. Testing kit, put this like plastic piece on it, and if it moves, blah blah blah, here's a wipe, use this. Like I feel like they're going to try to do, because they're expensive. I'm sure they're expensive to manufacture. I'm sure of it, because it's small boards. I mean, it's pretty tight, like inside of the controller in terms of space used. But yeah, I feel like they're going to come up with some sort of like thing that people can put on them, or like a duster or cleaner or some kit. Like there's something like a cardboard box with like a can of air and a can of dusting air, and you know, some alcohol wipes, and like a special plastic spatula thing that was created so you can get in and get like all the gross shit out of your joystick. I mean, I feel like they're not going to send people Joy-Cons.
No, and I mean, they have repaired them for free, and like I said, it's just a giant pain, especially if you don't have a second set of Joy-Cons. You're just stuck for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I mean, and that's just not the way to go about it. And then, like I said, they're just putting the same pieces back in it, or they just send you completely different Joy-Cons. So it ultimately, you know, if you play on these Joy-Cons that often, 4 months down the road, you're going to be sending them right back. It's just, something's got to end at some point. Like,
right,
you would think at this point they'd be like, oh, well, we took that little graphite piece that we put in there and we put something different, a different material that doesn't break off and create residue all over your controller, which is causing the issue. But
and I definitely, for me, I normally could defend Nintendo for a lot of stuff. This one I cannot defend them on. And the reason why I can't defend Nintendo, I can't defend Nintendo on this one is because Nintendo has been making superior controllers for their consoles. I don't know what happened with the design for the Joy-Con with the Switch, and why it's having all of those problems. I think Nintendo, you know, they're probably revising it for a Switch Pro. We don't know, but they got to do something to fix this problem. It's very faulty. It's happening around to a lot of people, and Nintendo has to, like, they have to man up and they have to fix this and address it and everything. So
they're gonna make some crazy booklet where it says like, you know, squeeze or squirt alcohol solution inside of stick and then like suck it out or something, and they'll have like a photo of that. They're gonna do everything that they can, man, to not pay. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, everyone in the EU is gonna be like, oh, free Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
you know,
this Joy-Con right here, I've tore apart. I've sent this one back to Nintendo. They fixed it. I tore it apart. I changed the joystick out in it again, and now the joystick and the buttons. Yeah, I did some button swap. Yeah, but the joystick that is in here no longer works. So I mean, I bought the joystick off of Amazon, and the other ones I've replaced have been great. I ordered the exact same ones, but I don't know if I got a defective batch here or whatever. But I mean, they're like $12 for 2 joysticks and like a whole kit to change these things out. It's not it's not, but I mean, these are time consuming to tear apart. These things suck.
And you break them. You broke one, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to buy one replacement because I broke it.
I broke my left one because my left one that I had was from the original Switch that I brought. Like when and I had to go literally to Best Buy and buy a whole new set.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't. I had my Pro controller and everything, but I'm just like, I need some new Joy Cons because I just can't have a Switch with one Joy Con. And my left one was drifting. And I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
You can't get a great experience if you're dealing with this. And I know for a lot of people who knows me, who I still love and I still stand by Nintendo, but they got to address this problem.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the first set that I ruined one of them. I think it was, I don't remember which one it was, but I was just changing out the shells. I just wanted to do like the atomic see-through or the forest green shells, you know, and it was, or jungle is what they call it, jungle green. And so I swapped out the shells and I ended up messing something up. I don't know what I messed up, but I messed something up. And so I went to GameStop and bought a used one and then just tore it apart and put it back together. Like I was able to find a one single Joy-Con for like $30 and I was, okay, that'll work. But it's just, they're not easy to work on. They suck. Actually, they are the worst controller I have ever tore apart. I haven't torn it into the DualShock or DualSense yet because that's also looks like it's going to be a nightmare. But they gotta get this figured out. They really have to. I mean, class action lawsuit after class action lawsuit, and now the EU is going after them. I mean, something's got to give at some point.
Absolutely.
Nintendo, if you want to rectify
someone's way.
Yeah. Nintendo was to fix this. Send me that Monster Hunter Pro controller. It's good.
Yeah, I'll forgive it all if you just send me that Monster Hunter controller.
That Monster Hunter Pro controller looks amazing. I want to order it. I need someone to send it to me. Like I wonder. You can have the Joy-Con drift all you want. You send me that Pro controller for that Monster Hunter Pro controller.
I like the Joy-Cons too. Those Joy-Cons are sharp. Like, I just want to send mine in, and you're supposed to write what color they are on there. I just want to send mine in and be like, Monster Hunter Joy-Cons.
Give me that hotness, Nintendo, and I'll be forgiven.
That's awesome. All right, we'll wrap it up. Ed, do you want to plug Boss Rush and what you do and where people can find you on the interwebs?
Yes, so you guys can find Boss Rush at bossrushgames.com. We have a lot of content. We write and we got a lot of shows coming out. We also have Boss Rush Entertainment, where we have like sports talk, like trash talk and LAN party and stuff like that you guys can check out. You can find me on Twitter at that retro code. You can find Ashen Opinion on SoundCloud. And yeah, everybody come to bossrushgames.com. And if you are a podcaster and you kind of want to be, showcasing everything, we have our first class that will help promote you and get you guys out there, because we are about positivity and making sure that not only are we playing games, that we are being better to one another. So yeah, come check us out at bossrushgames.com and follow us at Boss Rush Games Network.
Sweet. That was the most smooth and professional plug we've had on this podcast from a guest so far. I'm going to add
it's
that.
Better than ours, let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Like 195 episodes, we're like...
Yeah, for us, guys, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Spread the word. We're available on all podcast platforms where awesome podcasts are held, because we are indeed awesome. You can find me on PSN. My gamer tag... Whoa. Not my gamer tag. My PSN is Maple Jeff. Brody?
My PSN is Luscious Brody. You can still find me on Xbox. I probably don't get on there very often, but it's also Luscious Brody. I'm just Luscious Brody across the board. Let's be real honest here.
That's right. Leave us a review, guys. Helps us. Oh, geez. Go ahead. What did you say? I cut you off.
And if you guys want to check me out, I am Comical, OKAMICAL on PSN, and I'm in the Lyrical one on Xbox. And if you follow me at Twitter at that retro code, you'll get my Switch number there.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, this man's gonna name off his Switch code. And
he's got it.
There's no way
he's got it memorized.
I place all of that on my Twitter thing. Be like, y'all should check this out. Follow me. Get that stuff.
I was gonna say, I'm like, he's gonna do it. By God, guys, leave us a review. It helps us out a ton. Thank you to those who have in the past. Thank you to everyone who listens to us. Thank you so much. And
thanks, Ed, for coming on, man.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on. It's a blast. And
it's been a long time coming.
It has.
Thank you guys for having me. Hopefully, Arms 2 happen this year.
All right, guys.